In today's video, I want to take a look at the PlayStation Plus free game offerings in Asia because that might be a harbinger of what we could get in the future, and Asia's game offerings are completely insane, especially when you compare them to what we're getting over here, and I think this month is rather good for us in the States, but man, Asia's game offerings are really great. Also, there's a brand new story-driven game releasing tomorrow, and it's called The First Tree, and I think when you take a look at this game, you will instantly be captivated by it, and again, it is out tomorrow. Also, a huge free-to-play game in Path of Exile was expected to launch on the PlayStation 4 in December. Unfortunately, it's been delayed a little bit, but we will be getting it in early 2019. Also, we've got some information on BioWare's next game in Anthem, whether or not it'll have cross-platform support at launch, and when we'll be seeing more information about the game, and it'll be very soon. Also, I have some information on a brand new PlayStation VR title, A Puzzler in A Fisherman's Tale, and it is coming early 2019. More on that at the end of this video. First, I looked at the PlayStation Plus offerings for December in North America yesterday. However, Asia's Plus offerings for December are absolutely insane. So we are getting Soma and Onrush next month. Also, we're getting Iconoclast because that is a PlayStation Vita cross-buy title. A pretty solid month. A lot of you guys seem to disagree with me on that. However, maybe you would be more satisfied with the Plus offerings over in Asia, as they are getting Gravity Rush 2, an awesome game, as well as God Eater 2 Rage Burst, which is very timely because God Eater 3 does launch early next year. Now, I've been saying Gravity Rush 2 needs to be a PlayStation Plus title, both Gravity Rush games in fact, so that's awesome that they're getting Gravity Rush 2, and God Eater 2 Rage Burst is a very solid title as well. Now, these games are also both Japanese titles, so they probably go hand in hand with the Asian market a little bit more. In fact, they already got the first Gravity Rush free. However, since they are offering it to the Asian market, I imagine offering Gravity Rush over here in the States isn't a far cry either, and that would be great. Now, you could make a PlayStation Network account in different regions and sign up for Plus if you do want those games bad enough, and honestly, from a value standpoint, that might not be all too bad, but I do wonder if there's a language barrier there. Really, I just wanted to offer you guys this news because that might mean we will get Gravity Rush at some point. It does look like Sony is open to the possibility of offering Gravity Rush as a Plus title. Now we just need it here in the States because I think gamers would be absolutely pleased with Gravity Rush Remastered as well as Gravity Rush 2. Two games that I've said very good things about, and I've been very positive towards the God Eater franchise as well, so Asia's killing it next month. Over here in the States, I still think we got a really good month. Onrush is a recent release, Soma is a fantastic survival game, and people are missing out on Iconoclast. Yes, it's a PS Vita cross-buy title, but it'll be fully playable on the PlayStation 4, and that's a great game as well. 3 solid games, and if you bought your 12-month subscription to PlayStation Plus for $40, that means you're paying $3 and change, and to get access to those games for $3 and change is quite good. But let's stop that tangent. Over in Asia, Gravity Rush 2 and God Eater 2, hopefully that comes stateside at some point. Moving on from that, there is a very interesting game coming tomorrow to the PlayStation 4, and it is known as The First Tree. The First Tree is a very artistic game, and it's described as a third-person exploration game centered around 2 parallel stories: a fox trying to find her missing family, and a son reconnecting with his estranged father in Alaska. You take control of the fox in this gorgeous world on the beautiful journey that crescendos at the source of life and perhaps results in an understanding of death. Along the way, players can uncover artifacts and stories from the son's life as he becomes intertwined in the fox's journey towards the first tree. Now, this game is very interesting to me. It's really giving me vibes of games like Flower and Journey, and that maybe that story isn't directly told to you and it's not super blunt, but it looks to be a very emotional game, and the visuals in this game, I just cannot say enough good things about it. It's got such a unique art style, and from that perspective, it reminds me a little bit of Firewatch, and Firewatch was a game that I said very good things about as well back in 2016. I don't know if this is a game that everyone's gonna check out right away, but I could see this being a very well-received title. We'll know more as it officially releases tomorrow, but a game to keep your eyes on.
It's a difficult path to the first tree, but each of us must eventually take it, including me.
Moving on from that, a game that a lot of you guys may have been looking forward to in December was Path of Exile. One of the most prominent free-to-play titles on PC and Xbox One was set to come to PlayStation 4, but unfortunately the official Path of Exile page announced a delay for the PlayStation 4 version of the title. Here's the official statement, quote, "When we announced Path of Exile for PlayStation 4 earlier this month, we indicated we were aiming for a December release. Unfortunately, we have had to revise this to early February. We are extremely sorry for the inconvenience this causes because we know there are many players looking forward to this release. We underestimated the amount of work it would take to finish the certification process during the busy Christmas period. While we hope to have everything ready in January, we feel a lot more comfortable promising early February as a target release window. This will also give us time to work on the game performance and frame rate, which we feel could be improved before release. Again, we're very sorry about this. We understand that many PlayStation users were keen to play Betrayal over Christmas and have been eagerly awaiting release date news. We promise that Path of Exile will be awesome on PlayStation 4 when it is released early next year." A lot of gamers don't know about the certification process, but I've noticed covering a lot of games that this actually does become an issue when games have a close release window after they announce it. So this isn't all too much of a surprise to me, especially because again, it is the holiday period. They noted that in the post. But at least it's not been indefinitely delayed. We got another release window right away, and early February is coming up pretty soon, and at this point, we're still busy with a lot of other games. Red Dead Redemption 2, a lot of you guys might be playing that. RDR2 Online just launched. And there have been so many games released that I think playing a couple of other games over our winter break is going to be absolutely fine. Still disappointing to some, but hey, at least it's still coming out, and again, it looks to be dropping early February. That is the release window they have given. Moving on from that, BioWare's Anthem is a game that is definitely divisive among gamers. However, a lot of people are excited for it. It'll be coming in February. However, if you were hoping for cross-platform support at launch, meaning PlayStation 4 users could play with PC users, maybe PS4 and Xbox One users could play with one another, unfortunately, that is not going to happen. Announced by Mark Dara over on Twitter, he responded to a tweet saying, "Will PS4, Xbox, and PC players be able to play with each other?" And he just responded saying, "Not at launch." So specifically, since he said not at launch, that would mean you would have to think it would come at some point, which is better than nothing. And with cross-platform play still being a relative rarity in gaming, I think the fact that he is hinting at it coming at some point, that is positive news enough. Speaking of Anthem, if you were wondering when you're going to see more of the game, well, that's going to be coming at the Game Awards. We know that there are going to be north of 10 new games announced, but also updates on existing titles, and Anthem is going to be one of those games. As officially announced at the Game Awards Twitter page, quote, "Don't miss an exclusive new look at Anthem the game during #Game Awards next Thursday night, #Worlds will change." Again, I think the majority of people are still very divisive with Anthem, mainly because it is coming from BioWare. We know what happened with Mass Effect Andromeda, even though that came from different people. Anthem is its own unique property, however, it's also being published by EA, and EA just completely fumbled the promotion of Battlefield 5, that being an online-focused game, Anthem being an online-focused game. There are a lot of question marks surrounding Anthem. I'm hoping for a quality experience based on what we've seen. From a technical standpoint, it looks incredible, but obviously technical brilliance is not enough to carry the entirety of a game, and with Anthem, this is a game you would hope for some longevity out of. This isn't a case where on release day we're gonna get the full picture of what Anthem is. That's gonna come out over the course of the entirety of 2019, and it'll also be very interesting to see how Anthem resonates during that early 2019 period when you've got so many other game releases, Kingdom Hearts 3, Resident Evil 2 Remake, and even on the same day as Anthem, we've got the release of Metro Exodus. Days Gone was planned for that February 22nd release date. Unfortunately, that's been delayed, but honestly, that was probably for the best. We'll see how Anthem turns out. Do expect to see more at the Game Awards. And lastly, for those of you that have a PlayStation VR, and I've been touting the increased depth of PlayStation VR's library, well, it's gonna get some more with the release of a puzzler in A Fisherman's Tale. A Fisherman's Tale touts Bend and Twist Reality, the mind-bending VR puzzle adventure game coming soon to PlayStation VR. Specifically, it looks to be coming in January 2019. And here's some background on A Fisherman's Tale. You play as Bob, a puppet living a cozy life in an old lighthouse isolated from the rest of the world. But as you try to leave your cabin, you realize quickly that the world outside is not at all what you expected. You're just a little wooden puppet trapped inside the model of a lighthouse. And this model is replicated inside and outside of the room like Russian dolls. It looks to be a pretty interesting game. There's a lot of quality VR titles coming, a lot of games with a ton of potential, and of course we recently had the announcement of a new PlayStation VR bundle. It is $350, so a little pricey, but it is coming with the PlayStation VR headset, the Move controllers, Borderlands 2 VR, as well as Beat Saber, and if you can find that VR bundle at a discount, I think it could be a great buy. And with the added depth of the library with games like A Fisherman's Tale, I think it's a great time to jump on the PSVR train. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, I'm really interested to hear what you guys think about Asia's PlayStation Plus offerings. They're getting Gravity Rush 2 and God Eater 2. Those are some great games. Hopefully we get them over here stateside at some point. I've been wanting the Gravity Rush games as a part of Plus for a very long time. And those of you with an Asian PlayStation Network account, you'll be able to check it out if you are a Plus subscriber. Again, be on the lookout for the first tree. It's out tomorrow on the PlayStation 4, a game that's not been getting a lot of light, but I think this could turn out to be one of the final sleeper hits of 2018. Path of Exiles has unfortunately been delayed until early February. BioWare says Anthem isn't getting cross-platform support at launch, but hopefully it comes sometime down the line. We'll get more information about the game at the Game Awards. And A Fisherman's Tale is a brand new PlayStation VR puzzler, and it's coming January 2019. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.